Alright, welcome to video number 2. Seems like from the interactions and the feedback on the last video, you guys got something out of that, so that's great. That being said, forget Malum, holiday's over. It's time to do some work. This song is considerably more difficult, and the video is going to be longer as a consequence, and there's going to be a lot more we need to cover and techniques involved and so on. But you know, it's not supposed to be fun, you're supposed to be learning something. I don't want you to be entertained, I want you to be miserable and afraid. I'm guessing that most of you are going to skip all this anyway, so I don't know why I'm bothering, going straight to the solo. I could time code it for you, I suppose, but I'm not your mum, you can figure it out. First, the playthrough. Alright, so that's the song. As you can hear, there's a bit more going on and there's a fair amount we need to talk about. I don't know how long this is going to take. I suspect it's going to be longer than the last video, but let's just get into it and see where we are. Before we start, like before, I'm in D, so standard tuning, everything down a whole step. When I talk about the theory side of it, if I do, then I will talk in standard tuning. So when I say E, it's a D in real terms because of our tuning, but it's just, yeah, like I said before, I find it easier to think in standard tuning. Just before we start, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and hit the notification button so you won't miss the next videos that I upload. That really does help. So, first riff. Start up here. This is all minor chords. So as I said before in the last video, you need to learn your chords. If you don't know them, learn them. I think I may do some videos in the future once we're finished with these songs covering some aspects of guitar playing as it pertains to being a better extreme metal musician. So I may cover some of this stuff, but you really do need to know these basic chords for now anyway. So, E minor. We're just holding that chord, and as we pick, you can let the strings ring together. It doesn't need to be clean, but you do need to kind of keep the picking clean, otherwise it will lose some of its clarity. And we're just picking up and down that chord. We move up to 8th fret, and then down to 4. Okay, and then back to E, back up to 8th fret to the F, and then what we have here is 8, 6, and open on the B string. So starting on the D string, 8, 6, open. Okay. Simple enough. I'll play it with a click so you can hear it in context. Right, and the next riff is almost the same thing. The only difference is how we play the chords. So we play now. A bit of latency going on with the running through my computer. Okay, so we're playing the same chords. And rather than trying to count this with the picking and figuring out how many muted notes should be in between, just get a feel for where the stabs are. And then just fill the rest with the muted notes. Now, on the recording, that last chord down on 1st fret, which was actually in the previous riff, and I forgot to mention when you get to the end of the riff. On the other guitar though, I think. When I'm doing that. think the other guitar goes down there. I think. Let's just worry about my guitar. Yeah, so on the live version, there's like a stop where we cut 2 beats off the bar. We don't do that live because when we started to rehearse it for the tours, I don't know if we forgot that part or it just felt strange. That cut just didn't feel right, so we just played it through. But on the album, it goes. No, sorry. It cuts a couple of beats. When we do it live, we don't do that. So it's up to you what you want to do. But if you're playing along to the recording, then you need to do that cut. But you listen to it, you'll see what I mean. So. Again. Okay. With a click. Okay, and then we cycle back through some riffs we already covered, and then we eventually get to this. Okay, so open power chord, slide from the 1st fret to 6, and that is just 7 and 8 on the 2nd and 3rd string, the minor 3rd. But you have to pick it fast. It's kind of tricky when you're coming out the slide to suddenly jump into that burst of speed. So be careful of that. And the second time, then we get this power chord thing, 4, 3, 1. Open, 4, 3, 1. Then the same slide, but to 6 and 8 on the 3rd and 4th string. Okay, and then 6, 5, and then we go down to 1st, but it's not a standard power chord, it's a tritone. Okay, flat 5. And then so we cut a little chunk off the riff there, but it's basically the same thing. When I do it with the click, you'll hear it more clearly, but basically we just cut off. Same notes again. I'll play with the click and it makes more sense. Okay, then we have the... Now, that thing there is basically the same as in the last riff, but now we're hitting this chord. It's a full minor chord on the 4th fret. Sometimes I play this with my thumb, actually, so if I do that in the playthrough, don't let it confuse you, it's the same chord. I don't know why I do that actually, but it's just lazy. That's the same as the previous riff. Goes up to the 6th fret, same chord again, just a minor chord. Same thing again as with the previous riff. And then we hit this open string. Again, live, I don't think we do that. We just play straight through because it sort of kills the momentum a bit when we're doing it live. It makes more sense on the album, but when we play in the rehearsal room, we tend to just go straight through that instead of that pause. But anyway, with a click. Alright, and then we get to the middle section, which is actually, one thing to say about the previous riff, about that part, is actually a polyrhythm. We're playing 4 chords across 3 beats. And it's worth noting that because it needs to have, those chords need to be even, and I don't want you to try to force it into some sort of square timing where it doesn't belong. Okay, so basically the beat and the riff are like this. Okay, 4/3. I'd love to spend more time talking about polyrhythms, but we haven't got time in this video, maybe something for later. But anyway, this isn't a drum lesson. As long as you can count to 4 and 3 and put that together, then you should find the logic in it. If you can't do that, I don't know why you're even here. You need round the clock care. Anyway, yes, this riff. So, 5th fret on the D string and then 2nd on the A string. Then move that down a fret and 3rd fret on the bottom string. Okay, this is basically E minor, G minor major 7. The other guitar is going, so you're getting those bass notes underneath there. Strange chords, they're made sensible by the voice leading, which is basically the movement from each note of the chord to each note of the next chord. And in this case, we're just moving 2 of those notes, semitone in the same interval, and changing the bass note. So it sounds a lot more logical than it actually is from a theoretical point of view. So we have that, that's all played, should all be picked in 4s. Okay, otherwise you'll lose some of the clarity which you really need to make that cut through. And then you have this, which is that old, no, it's in every black metal song, so you should probably know that. And then, okay, 6th fret, 6th fret, and 4th fret on the D string. It's actually just the E flat minor, but inverted. Then we do that again. This time, up to F minor on the 8th fret on the A string. And then we're just moving that minor chord around in semitones. You can figure that out, I'm sure. And then that's it, E flat minor with an open string at the top, which I also used in Malum because I have very limited capabilities. Yeah, okay. No, it's a dissonance I really like, and it makes a lot of sense when you're, when you're moving these minor chords around to throw in a dissonant open string like that. Yeah, let's do that with a click. Okay, and then we start to creep towards the solo. We get this melody section. So, 9th fret on the 3rd string. 9th, then up to the B string, 8, 7, and back. And then 8, 6, open, starting on the D string. We used this shape before earlier in this song. It's quite a deliberate thing. Sometimes it's very useful to use similar things to cross over one area of the song to another. It's just a compositional device. I really don't want to get into that stuff in this video. Maybe later, like I said, I think I mentioned before that when I've finished doing these songs, I'm thinking about doing some actual tuition videos. and composition and compositional tricks probably will fit into one of those. So I don't want to weigh into that too much right now, but yeah, it's not a mistake that that's the same shape that we used earlier. So anyway, got to keep your picking clean here as well, which is not very easy because otherwise the melody gets lost. And then this is a tricky one because what you're doing is basically you're picking chunks out of these minor arpeggios. So what you have here is 10, starting on the A string, 10, 8, 7. Okay, and we're playing 2 strings at a time. And then we move that shape up. Then straight it goes. Yeah. And that top part is 8 and 9. If you know your minor arpeggios, then this will be a familiar shape, but it's a bit of a weird way to play, and it's quite hard to be fast picking 2 notes at a time. Doesn't have to be perfectly clean, that part actually. In the recording it drifts a bit. The main thing is that you're just outlining that harmony. As long as it sounds like those minors, it doesn't matter too much. I don't think I was paying very much attention when I recorded this to what I was specifically doing. I think I was trying to just flow across that harmony. Okay, then we go back to this. And then this time, so starting on the 3rd string, 7, down to 10 on the A string, the same shape we were using just now. So 8th fret there, 7, down to 10, and 8 on the D string. Then we move up a fret. 8th fret on the 3rd string, 9 on the B string, 11, 12, then 15, 12, 16, 15 on the B string, 14, 13, 11, and then down to 10 on the 3rd string. So it's a little awkward doing this whole thing with your little finger, but that is how I did it, or how I do it. Okay, and then it's exactly the same shape as down here. Exactly the same, just up on the starting on the 3rd string. Okay, let's do that whole thing with the click, and I'll do it slowly as well. And then we get to the solo, which is presumably why most of you are here anyway. It's not too difficult, but there are some things, there's a few techniques in here that you may struggle with if you're not already familiar with them. It's not a technique lesson, that might be something I do in the future, but for now I'll just give you the phrases and try to give you a little bit of guidance on how to cope with the techniques. It's not an amazingly difficult solo, especially because it can be divided up into 4 parts, so it makes it easy at least to practice and learn. It's like that because it was a composed solo, it's not improvised. Every note here is here for a very specific reason. It's completely the opposite to the solo on the Death cover we did, the Evil Dead, because that was completely improvised. I think it was like a harmonic minor thing. But this one is very much constructed, so it actually makes it easier to learn, not easier to play. So, starts off on the 9th fret on the 3rd string. Okay, that's just a E minor major 7. So we go 9, down an octave to 7 on the A string, just a minor arpeggio, then up to 7 and 8 on the 2nd and 3rd string. Then, okay, this is 10th fret on the A string, 9, 9, 12. It's also just an extension. This entire first part is just one long E minor arpeggio with a few extensions. So that's with the actually that's just an E minor, but strange voicing. Okay. Then it's E minor. 14th fret on the D, 12, 12, 12. 14 on the top string, and we land on 16 on the B string. So. There we go, eventually. Let me do that with a click so it makes more sense. Okay, then we get the tapping thing, which is this. Now that is 19th fret on the top string, pull off to 15, to 14, to 12. Then you're going to hammer on to 13 on the 2nd string, which is not that easy to do actually. Pull off to 12, back to 13. Then hammer on to 12 on the top string, and then you work your way back down again, or back up and back down, so. Okay, and then you repeat it up a fret. That hammering on, we call it hammering on from nowhere, basically when you just hit a string, is not very easy, and it's something that you may need to practice. I recommend just practicing the pattern like so you do extra practice on the hammering backwards and forwards between the strings. It's up to you, but I think that will help you, because otherwise you may find those notes will be weaker, and it will sort of, you'll lose the clarity in the line, and it just doesn't sound as clear or as interesting. And then it goes up a fret, like I said, and then just 16 to 19. Okay. Yeah, so we go pattern, move up a fret, move back a fret, and then those last 2 notes with a click. Okay, and then we have 20 on the B string, 19, 20 on the top. Then we have this run. Which actually, when you play at that speed, it kind of sounds like jazz, but in context it doesn't. Well, I don't think so anyway. So we're going 19, 15, 14, and then 17 on the B string. Then 15, 14, 17, and 16. Then we have a jump to 12 with your second finger. 12, 11, then down a string, 12, down another, 12, 11, down another string, 14, 13, 14. Okay, and when you pick that, there's a little economy picking in here, which is where you down, up, 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 and then resume the alternate. I don't think you'll be able to play this entirely alternate. By all means, you can try, but I think you're going to have to develop that economy thing. Otherwise, it's not. It's not. You won't get the phrasing quite there. Let's do that with a click. Alright, we're nearly there. This is the last part of the solo. This is the sweep picking bit. It's just a minor shape, 19, 15, then down 17, 16, 17, 19. You should know these shapes anyway, really. So I'm just going down, back up, then all the way down. Then moving that shape up, 1 fret. Okay, now it starts with a group of 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it resumes back to the groups of, well, thinking in 4s. Or 8s, whatever. Okay, now I don't want you to worry too much about that. Just try to mimic the flow of the tempo of the line. The 5s and 7s, generally speaking, if they are written down specifically to be 5s and 7s, it's usually to give the line a certain sense of either pulling back from the tempo or pushing ahead of the tempo. Okay, so just try to get that. Okay, it just slows down slightly at the start and it helps the phrase to fit into the bar. Just gives it a little more interest than if I was just playing constantly at one note grouping. And then we tap at the top, 21st, and then we do another one of these hammer-ons to the B string on the 18th fret. And then, kind of unusual way to end this solo actually. I probably just wanted to get it over with. But I like that it's all 4ths and 5ths, so 19, 17, then to the B string, 18, 17, 16, 15, and then 13 on the D string. I like these kinds of intervals. They're sort of cold. There's no thirds, so they have a colour in the fact that they don't have a colour. They're missing a colour, and that gives them a colour of their own, if that makes sense. Very cold, hollow intervals. So, with a click. This riff, it's like the little filler riff before we go back to the start of the song effectively. So, 5th fret power chord on the A string. And then we go 7 on the D string, 7 on the next string, 4, 7, 4. Yep. Then we go down to the 4th fret on the bottom string, 6, 6, 3. And then back up to the 5th fret. That part again. Down 1 fret and a minor chord. And then we go down a fret up to the bottom string for a different minor chord. And then we're back to the start. Alright? With a click. And that's it. Well done for making it this far. It's, like I said, a lot more work than the previous song. Good luck with it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to drop them in the comment section down below. If you did like the video and it was useful, it would be great if you could hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed already, I really would appreciate it because it helps things to grow. I'll drop some other links in the description, and I will see you in the next one.